This video is sponsored by Miniswap, more on that later on in the video. Hello and welcome to the command phase, my name's Mark and thank you so much for joining me. 2025 has been an amazing year for the hobby. There have been so many incredible Warhammer models that have released throughout all of Games Workshop's ranges. From Warhammer 40k in Kill Team to Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Underworlds, the Old World, Horus Heresy, Necromunda and beyond. This made picking my top models from each category extremely difficult, although we did get the opportunity to vote for an upgrade sprue. So in this video I'm going to be giving my top 10 Warhammer models of 2025 based on the voting options we had available. It'll certainly be interesting to see how far off I end up being once the results are in. Let me know in the comments section below what your favourite miniature of the year was for 2025 and which you voted for in each of the categories. I'd love to know. Just before we get into the video, I wanted to talk to you about today's sponsor, Miniswap.gg. If you're anything like me, you have either a big backlog of projects you're probably never going to get to, or enjoy scouring the internet to find some bargains. Yes, it's very much a problem.
Okay, it's $500.
Shut up and take my money!
Well, this is where I'd like to introduce you to Miniswap.gg. This is a pretty new miniature buying and selling website created by hobbyists for hobbyists. Think of it like TCG Player, but for miniature games. Having only been around a few months, it's got over 2,000 listings across the US, UK and Canada. So whether you're looking for a specific model or sell them yourself, the easy to navigate granular search system allows you to make sure that you are in fact going to get the model that you are after, rather than those that are often misidentified, especially with the likes of eBay and Facebook Marketplace. You'll find models new in box, still on sprue, built or even painted to various levels, so there'll be plenty of options for you. They do extensive background checks on sellers and have a strict no counterfeit policy to protect you from buying fakes and 3D prints, so you'll have peace of mind that what you are in fact looking at is the real deal.
Nice.
Plus, if they don't currently have the model you're looking for, you can set up a notification in case one gets listed later on. Miniswap offers a safe and secure buying and selling process which couldn't be easier. Just type in the model that you're looking to sell and their extensive database auto fills in all the details for you, with simple forms to get your listing up within a few minutes. And with low fees, simple shipping where they handle the postage labels for you, and secure payment through the widely trusted Stripe platform where you'll only be charged once the item is shipped, you've got peace of mind that you're in safe hands. So if you're looking to buy or sell some used models in a streamlined and easy to use environment designed for hobbyists, definitely check out Miniswap.gg, plus right now you'll get free shipping on your first order. A link for this is in the description below. Thank you very much for Miniswap for sponsoring today's video. Now it's time to go and look at my top 10 Warhammer models from 2025, so without any further ado, let's get stuck in. Kill Team has always been a great way to add cool new units to Warhammer 40k outside their codex release schedule, and the Wrecka crew coming in at number 10 is no different. These guys are a massive glow up on the old Tankbuster kit and really are everything I could have wanted. The new style in which Games Workshop have been sculpting the orcs ever since the Beastnagger launch I feel really suits them, and these are no different. The bolted on heavy armour and combination of rockets, pneumatic hammers and bomb squigs makes for a very fun unit. Let's face it, nothing screams orkiness more than a hammer with a rocket on the end of it. A fantastic set of models overall, and I certainly can't wait to see what the sculpting team does with some of the older kits that could do with the same treatment. In the summer we got a new edition of the Horus Heresy, and with it a plethora of new models in the Saturnite box set. The one that stood out head and massively oversized shoulders above the rest is the Saturnite Dreadnought. While I must admit the shoulders do look a tad World of Warcraft-esque on the characters and Terminators, on this massive war machine it actually suits it and feels a little more in proportion. The massive guns look meaty and certainly look like they could pack a punch, powered by the huge generator on the back, and the detailing all over the model looks fantastic. I really like the way the Heavy Metal team did the colour scheme, especially on the shoulder pauldrons. I can see this being a huge amount of fun to paint. In a year where we got some much needed updates to the Eldari Aspect Warriors and Phoenix Lords, Lykhis for me was the pick of the bunch. Not only was it unexpected, but honestly she blew all the others away. The dynamic posing of the Warp Spider Phoenix Lord making her first appearance in 40k by teleporting into the fray ready to pounce looks phenomenal. The spider mandibles on the helmet with the Brood Twain either side make for a really intimidating look. The sculpting team did an absolutely fantastic job here. The connections look a little delicate, and with all that detail I personally would be a little intimidated painting this up, but that doesn't detract it from being one of the best models for me to release this year. Cathay was one of the first releases for the old world as a whole army that made me sit up and think it's not just a game of repackaging old models. This army is truly beautiful and really hits that historical Chinese aesthetic perfectly. While they are spoilt for choice for really nicely sculpted models, I must admit the Sky Lantern for me was the pick of the bunch. I've never seen a model quite like this in Warhammer. I really like the delicate look of the airship with the crew dropping bombs from above. There is so much intricate detailing throughout and could be an exceptional painting project on top of such a beautiful army. While I am stopping myself from jumping into the old world, this got me a bit too close for comfort. The Death Corps of Krieg are one of the most popular regiments of the Astra Militarum, and this year they had a huge amount of incredible new models to expand the range. While it was difficult to narrow down between a few of the kits as Games Workshop did a truly great job with this range, I ended up with Lord Marshal Dreir. This model for me took that Krieg aesthetic and pushed it up a notch. The armour and gas mask on the mount mirroring the character is such a great look. You can tell these two have been through a lot together, and I love the symmetry with both Dreir and the mount both having a bionic right leg. Such a nice touch. The Warzone base is also really well detailed and is much better than the typical tactical rock. It's such a great looking character, and I'm currently trying to stop myself starting this army with that Christmas Battle Force box. The return of the Chaos Dwarves was hugely anticipated, and the release of the Helsmith Daemonsmith did not disappoint. There were a huge number of great looking models which I'm having a lot of fun building and painting up currently on my hobby desk. While you may think Uruk-Tar or the Dominator engine would be my pick, you'd be wrong. It is in fact the Daemonsmith on foot. This character caught my eye straight away. He looks imposing, with him scouring through his ancient tome and readying a powerful demon fire spell. Pretty much a come at me if you dare feel to him. The paint job from the Heavy Metal team is fantastic with a great use of colours, although I have seen some incredible versions on Instagram too from fellow hobbyists. What I do find entertaining is that my favourite model of the release also makes one of the worst looking in the Ashen Elder as part of the dual kit. This for me is one of the most exciting releases from Games Workshop this year, which I'm very much looking forward to opening on Christmas Day. I'm very lucky to have such a supportive wife enabling my hobby addiction. When it comes to voting, they were classed as one option, which feels a little like cheating, but for me it's the bad guys that really sold this set. Although being a Cities of Sigmar fan, Edmark Valoran and Bren Tylus are very cool characters I'm excited to paint up. But back to the real reason why I've placed this so high, and that is the incredible Maggotkin of Nurgle models. They've really smashed it out of the park, not only with the sculpting, but the heavy metal paint job that they've done here. It really makes the armour feel more grounded and realistic compared to previous Maggotkin or Death Guard paint jobs. They've gone for a much more bloated look with the Blight Templars, Molgoth the Cleaver, and of course the main man Gelga's Pust, which I'm actually a big fan of, although Molgoth could do with working on his other arm to even it up. The Cankerborn being larger Plague Bearers are a really cool play on a typical Plague Bearer model that I really like. The visual look of them coming out of the ground with terrain on their shoulders is a really nice touch showing off their scale, and the rusted weaponry looks fantastic. But the two I'm most excited to paint up are the Shaman Falhoof, which is an incredible rendition on that classic model with so much intricate detailing, but of course Belga the High Priestess. I really love this model so much. The way she melds from the insect body into almost human is phenomenal. It's grim and disgusting, which means for me, the sculpting team has done an incredible job. I also love the way that her body is coiled around the cauldron, with her two other arms stirring the bones into whatever she's concocting. Alongside some great looking pestigores and pox wrenches, this is such an incredible set. It certainly feels weird getting to pick this as one option in their voting system, but to be honest, there were a few models in here I would have picked in full spot on their own. We have to go back to Christmas Day last year for the reveal of my number 3 slot, the Primarch of the Emperor's Children, Fulgrim, and the main centerpiece to yet another incredible release of models. He's a very dynamic character, coiling up and ready to strike. I love that he's wielding both Fireblade and the Blade of the Lair. The detailing of the armour is beautiful, as it really should be for him, while just below having the icon of Slaanesh implanted directly into his muscle fibres with his skin opened up in the 8-pointed star is such a great touch. Loads of intricate detailing all over the model, although I must admit a number of the head options really were a bit lackluster for me. I can hear it now in the comments section that they can't believe this only made it to number 3. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful sculpture. He was pretty nice to put together, which can't always be said for larger models, and he's currently on my shelf alongside his demonic brothers. I imagine he will end up winning the best 40k popular vote, and if there is an overall one, probably that too. I just felt my next pick was a more complete model, and honestly pips this one, although it was very close. Coming in at number 2 at the head of a really well executed range refresh, which could well make Blood Angels fans very salty, my pick is Logan Grimnar. Coming from a model which was a little bit of a joke to many with Santa's sleigh, this is an incredibly huge upgrade. It's an almost Primarch-esque level of quality for a character right here, really giving respect for the chapter master of the Space Wolves. He has such an imposing form, marching towards the enemy, flanked by his ferocious Thunderwolves, Tyrnak and Fenrir. Games Workshop have done a great job with sculpting wolves this year, not only with the Git mob release, which I'm a big fan of, but with these two also. They've been able to add more character to them while also keeping them looking realistic. Logan is covered from head to toe with details, really pushing that Viking aesthetic we all know and love for the Space Wolves, while keeping a very grizzled look, not only with the bear pelt, but his facial expression and his deep piercing gaze. His ancient axe Morkai is really well sculpted too, and the paint job here from the Heavy Metal team really calls back to its origin. You also can't forget his Primarch level tactical rock either. I'm extremely tempted to make a Space Wolves army once I finish my current project, mainly down to this model and the new releases alongside him, although I will end up picking this model up after Christmas just to paint up regardless. That for me shows how highly I think of it. At the number 1 spot, we go back to the world of Age of Sigmar. The Soulblight Gravelords had some incredible additions with the Barrow Guard and Knights earlier in the year, but alongside them, one of the best centerpieces in the game was released, Prince Vhordrai on his zombie dragon. I mean, the glow up from the original is just mind-blowing. The sculpting team on the Age of Sigmar side of the business really do feel they get a lot more freedom to push their creativity compared to 40k, and this model shows it. The dragon itself is incredibly detailed, from the skin falling away from not only its frayed wings, but also the roaring face, really pushing that undead look without feeling cartoony. The pose is fantastic too, with the dragon slinking off a terrain piece, threatening anything that comes near it, with Vhordrai himself high up, able to survey the battlefield around him. The delicate detailing of his armour and iconography really contrasts well with the sickly undead creature below him. All in all, the best model this year for me, and such an incredible hobby project. Unfortunately, he won't win the public vote, mainly due to a 40k Primarch being released and a higher percentage of the players do enjoy that game more than Age of Sigmar, but I'd be massively surprised if he didn't win the Age of Sigmar section. So there we have my top 10 models of the year for 2025. The ones I voted for were Darkwater, Logan Grimnar, and of course Prince Vhordrai in the 3 categories Games Workshop are doing this year. There were so many great models to choose from, and honestly, from what has been revealed recently, 2026 already looks to be starting off with some absolute bangers, which I absolutely can't wait for. I've really got to stop myself from starting a Maggotkin army next, although with Warhammer Quest under the Christmas tree this year, hopefully those incredible models will scratch that itch. Let me know in the comments section below which models you voted for this year. I'd love to know. Also, let me know what you're hoping to see next year, especially with the end of edition campaign for 40k ahead of the new edition in the summer. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, then please hit that like and subscribe button, as it really helps the channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching the command phase, and I'll see you in the next video.